welcome to you both. Lars, what is the current context of renewable funding, renewable financing? Where are we? What are the opportunities? Where are the challenges?
Well, nowadays it's easy to talk about the challenges because renewables are a very capex intensive industry. That means the rate at which you secure your capital has a massive impact on the returns that you can make with the projects. And obviously nobody wants to build projects without any returns. So the current situation where inflation has been going up has had even more impact probably than the material prices going up. And that has created a slowdown in the build out of renewables, especially in those markets which have a high interest rate because they are high risk markets. And most developers, they secure their projects and then they go to the capital markets and try to find financing. They ideally go to pension funds where they believe they will get lowest return money. And that process is relatively complicated.
Lars, talk to me about Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners. You have a unique hybrid approach that makes you very special in this space. What is that?
So we do a bit of both, actually. We consider ourselves to be the ones that connect the world of capital with the world of projects. So at heart, we're a fund manager. We raise money for greenfield energy investments, only renewables, that's all we do. But we're also a developer, meaning that we identify projects, we develop projects, we construct them, we operate them, and then we divest. So an investment from us would be around 10, 15, 20 years, depending on the country we work in. So we have experience from the finance side and also from the developer side. So we're smack in the middle of both.
Why do you think that gives you the advantage, though?
It gives us the advantage because we actually have the projects that we want to develop. So when we go to investors and fundraise, we can show them the seed portfolio of projects that we're working on. So you're not only giving money to a fund and you don't know where the money is going, you can actually see the projects that we are developing. And that gives a lot of comfort in a challenging market, as you say. The market is difficult these days. But I would say, though, that you are able to raise money. We are raising a lot of funds at the moment, a flagship fund for investing in OECD countries, target of 12 billion euros. We just launched a new fund yesterday for growth markets instead.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So we also want to do work in the global south. We've actually done that since 2019, where we raised the first growth market fund, raised 1 billion euros for investing in countries where there is a different risk profile and therefore also a higher return for investors. We actually managed to commit that fund. We were done 2 months ago committing it. And we now we launched yesterday the new Growth Market Fund 2 with a target size of 3 billion for investments in the global south for renewable projects.
Fantastic. Lars, talk to me, though, if you would, about evolving regulation, how that fits in and the impact that that is going to have.
Well, it's the regulatory environment that scapes the business opportunities. And what we've seen in the recent years is a development where regulators are issuing feed-in tariffs, which is great. You need a feed-in tariff, you need a clear visibility on your top line in order to make a project. But then from that point in day until the day when you can make your financial investment decision, there is a gap. And the longer this gap is, the more risk there is. The risk that material prices will increase, that the turbines that you planned with are no longer available or the technology has changed. So that is what has been creating a lot of problems in the offshore world because there's a big gap of 4 or 5 years between these 2 points in time. If the regulator is able to bring these 2 points of time closer together and have a higher speed in permitting, I think everybody in the industry would be very happy to finance the projects and build the projects.
Yeah, very much agree. So we always say that when you look at the technology, it's now developed to a point where it's cost competitive in almost all the markets of the world. Wind, solar, especially hybrid projects where you combine the two. And you have the private investments, you have the capital needed as well. We are an example of that. You can raise the money. We have currently 26 billion euro under management and going towards 30. So the capital and the technology is there. And you have never had as ambitious political target setting as you see these days. Look at Europe because of the war in Ukraine and energy security. The US is the same, other countries like Japan and South Korea. But the thing we lack is the regulatory side in between the capital technology and the political ambitions. And that takes too long time on the permitting side, on the auction designs. The grid is a factor as well. And it's super difficult to get this to work because it takes too long time from developing project to actually being able to build it, where you need all the permits in place. So I would say that, especially in Europe and North America, this is the biggest issue. Global South is a bit different. It's actually easier to work there these days than it is in Europe and North America.
Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.